It's time for Sunsoft's second Famicom game, and it's one of the very few Famicom games that they released that didn't have their name embossed into the cart. Sunsoft is following in Namco's footsteps here. Route-16 is a very early arcade game, and rather than just port it, Sunsoft rebuilt the game to make it something a little bit bigger and better for consoles. That was a smart choice. There's a reason that nobody remembers that Route-16 existed as an arcade game. Route-16 Turbo is a maze chase game. It's similar to Rally X in that you're driving a car around the maze. Every level in Route-16 is made up of 16 smaller levels. You drive out the side of one of the smaller levels to go to the big map, and then enter one of the doors in the square to go to the small map. The game has a story. The villainous group Kanharu is stealing money from everyone around the world and hiding it in their secret base. You've driven your car Mad X into that secret base to get all that cash out. But Kanharu has filled their base with automatic attack cars and evil monsters. Well, I never said it was a good story. So your goal on every stage is to collect all of the cash. You can see the cash on the big map, so what you'll mainly be doing is popping into a square, grabbing the cash, and trying to get out again before the other cars show up. A lot of those little mazes are death traps if cars get in there with you. You do have a weapon you can use against the cars. There are checkered flags in the mazes as well. Pick those up and the cars turn red, and you can run them over for some bonus points. The time that they stay red is quite a while too. Watch out for the monsters though. You can never collect them. In the mazes, you'll also find rings that are worth a few extra points, but they don't show up on the radar. And these blobs that require you to collect the smaller spots around them to turn them into something. Pick up the wrong small blob, it turns into a bomb, but pick up the right one and it turns into a bag of cash. Some of the bags of cash turn into an oil slick and then back again. If you run over that oil slick, it just slows you down. You've got a limited amount of fuel with which you can collect all the treasure with. It starts out at 1,000 and ticks down pretty quickly. You'll find gasoline in the mazes as well that you can pick up. A useful trick that your car has is by pressing the A or B button, you'll accelerate. That can let you outrun some of the other cars, but you burn through your gas pretty quickly. There are 9 stages in Route-16 Turbo, and the challenge ramps up pretty quickly. By stage 4, no more checkered flags appear in the maze. And as the stages go on, you have to collect more and more treasure to complete them. Stage 9 is the last stage because there's so much treasure that you cannot collect all of it. Although recently some people have used emulators and save states to plot out a path that actually let them get everything. This is another one of those Sunsoft games that gives you a secret letter in between each round that you could send back to Sunsoft for a prize. The secret phrase on this one is Route-16 Turbo. There isn't really anything interesting around Route-16 Turbo, so this is the point where I generally transition into my own opinions. But I'm not really sure I can express them with this game. When I picked it up, I had some instant dislike to it, and thought I wouldn't come back to it ever. But playing it for about an hour today, I did have fun. It's just, this is a game with a lot of rough edges. We're talking enough rough edges that the cart could have been made from sandpaper. The visual design is often painful to look at. A lot of these small mazes are really hard to look at. There's also the issue that once enemies close in, it's pretty hard to escape them, and you can't see them as you're exiting the maze. You could leave a room to find yourself already trapped with nowhere to go. There's 3 difficulty levels in Route-16 Turbo, and they seem to mainly affect how aggressively the cars chase you down. The car AI seems to do kind of a random wander until it gets close enough to you. There's no shame in playing on easy, since half the things that make your life difficult here are things that are out of your control. So I guess in the end here, Route-16 Turbo is a game that you can find some fun in, but I really wish it was better.